Welcome back, everyone, to the Hot Mix, an InstroTek podcast. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Maurice.
And today we are bringing you a very... There it was. I knew it was coming. And today we are bringing you a super special guest, a real, true industry professional and friend to the InstroTek family.
Today we have Bryce Wuori here on the podcast with us. And Bryce has been a good friend, but an awesome colleague as well throughout the years. But to get started, let's learn a little bit about Bryce. He graduated from North Dakota State University. He's had over 2,000 miles on pavement projects across 35 states.
Man, he's like the Forrest Gump of asphalt.
He is, Anthony. He has also worked with some of the biggest contractors we know, like Granite, CRH, Knife River, and Colas. He is a true asphalt technologist and also the co-founder of PaveWise. Help me please bring in Bryce Wuori. What's up, brother?
Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm pumped to be here.
Glad to have you, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. I know you're a busy guy, Bryce, so we really appreciate you taking the time to come visit us here on the podcast and maybe dive into a little bit of what you've been doing, what's going on in the industry. I know you're obviously all over the United States, with your company, but also really getting to know a lot of the contractors out there. So we're going to get into all of that and some really fun questions, right, Anthony?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get started. So the first question we have for you, Bryce, and we wanted to kind of get started with is your new company, or the company that you are at now, which you're a co-founder at, is called PaveWise. Kind of want to know, there's always a lot in the name of a company, and it sounds like you crafted this one very carefully. Wanted to know, what does that name mean for you, and how does it relate to your company?
Yeah, so PaveWise, I've been in the asphalt industry for 20 years now. And when I was helping contractors, QC, lab, all that, I just like, what can we do, and what name kind of sticks with how do we help contractors really pave smarter, pave wise, right? Like put all these data points together to make decisions, and that's kind of how it really came together. Is like, well, PaveWise, right? It just kind of stuck.
It's a smart name for a smart company, and I think that's what you're developing, and I really enjoyed it. So it's awesome getting to know a little bit about the history there.
And the swag is unmatched, man.
Yes.
I mean, the
hard hats
and just the overall swag.
Yeah.
I mean, you got an aura about you, man, so you have to have good swag to match. I get it.
Yeah.
Got the tattoos, looking cool.
Tattoos. I mean, I'm a construction guy. I love paving and I love asphalt. I like, being out in the field, really just testing the limits of technology, helping contractors succeed, and that's just my passion.
Yeah,
honestly.
It shows. It shows.
For sure.
I mean, I've seen you. Maurice has seen you at shows. I've seen you at shows. I've worked with you in the field. I'm sure Maurice, you definitely embody our industry and what it means to be, a paving specialist, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Which leads me into my first question, and I was thinking long and hard about what I wanted to ask
Anthony.
Bryce.
I heard these questions, and they're really good.
Well, Bryce kind of helped me out to. I feel like every podcast I'm talking about how I gained a little knowledge in the industry, and Bryce was a vital part of the paving side of it for me, being out in the field.
Right.
So, Bryce, let me just ask you this: how have you seen paving technology evolve, and what technological advancements have revolutionized the paving world from your view in the last 20 years?
Yeah, so I mean, even the last 10 years, right? We look at, like in 2012, we were one of the first companies testing like intelligent compaction. We knew rollers and the patterns, just staying consistent, uniformity was a big issue in the industry, getting those low densities, cores, and uniformity. So it's just, even in the last 10 years, it's changed so much.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is data driven. Getting the data to make decisions proactively and to make the adjustments in a timely manner so that quality and the whole process is just more efficient, fluent. Paver mounted thermal profilers, even AI is getting into the construction industry, the big buzzword AI, right?
Yeah.
But really, a lot of what that is, there's a lot of data, there's a lot of technologies out there, and there's a lot of data floating around that is not being utilized quite to its full potential. And that's what I'm seeing mostly in the last 2 to 3 years now, is like we've got the technologies out there. Now, how do we use this data to be better and make better decisions?
And intelligent compaction, IC, is for the industry people, is something that has really come a long way. I mean, when we first started with it, I remember seeing it, and people were kind of explaining what it was, and they're like, okay, so you mount a GPS and you track it, but they were just talking about literally how to kind of guide the paver. Now it's just not only guiding and showing where it's been, but using that data to really come up with solutions for the next pavement job of how you can do it better or quicker or more efficiently. And that's, I think that's what you meant. We're turning the page on that. We're going back beyond just the technology to really what is the numbers, the data telling us about what we're doing out there. So that's amazing.
Well, since we're bringing up new stuff, man, tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, this is one of the products that we offer. This is actually a certified weather station. This is GroundTruth. We set this out on projects. Obviously, we know how much weather impacts construction, right? It's literally what we build our schedules around, our operations, and we've built this into PaveWise to help contractors understand your environment. Because a lot of paving, honestly, asphalt paving is one of the most affected from the environment. You know, you think of 100%. Cooling them, you know, you got winds, you got temperatures, all that affects your quality and what you need to do to make adjustments. So we use highly accurate weather data on site to help contractors and the operations understand, okay, look, I got this condition coming. I can't control this condition, but this is what I need to change in my operations. So we use that data. We've built engines to help give recommendations in the operations through text automations. Like there's no more, you don't have to look at your app and see if it's going to rain. We tell you that. Or, you know, like these are the adjustments you can make, tighten up your roller patterns, even specification requirements. A lot of states have temperatures that you can only pave at, or wind speeds.
Right.
We literally help them identify this is your risk and this is how we're going to combat that to be successful.
That's awesome. You know, Anthony, I love a good bowl of spaghetti.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, and sometimes when that spaghetti gets cold, it's not as good, right?
It's not as good, yeah.
Yeah, if you had something to tell you, you know, what wind is coming across your kitchen is going to cool off that spaghetti.
Yeah.
You know, it may help you. And I think that's what Bryce is talking about. We deal with a product comes out at what, 325?
Yeah.
Right? And
that's
it comes
hot
out.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, it's some hot spaghetti. Yeah. That's mom spaghetti, by the way. Yeah. So that comes out extremely hot from the asphalt plant, and it depends so much on what the weather is like, on how well that project is going to go for you when you're a contractor out there. So I think something like this that literally can tell you ahead of time, hey, listen, watch out for this. It'll send you text messages, I understand, Bryce. I mean, it's keeping you connected to what's going on in your environment. And when you have a product that you're placing that is so dependent on that, I think it's an amazing technology. I really do. I think it is an advancement in the asphalt construction that really needs to be out there. So I'm glad PaveWise has thought about that and now connected it to the people on the ground, the foremen, the people at the plant, to let them know, hey, this is what you got to watch out for, because no one likes cold spaghetti. At least not me.
GroundTruth, coming to an Italian restaurant near you.
Exactly.
Dropping a spaghetti reference during lunchtime, though, while we're filming.
Yeah, I know. My tummy's growing.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll get some.
Cold or hot.
Now I want spaghetti for lunch.
There you go. That's awesome.
All right. You have been out there promoting this product now for a little while, right? And one of the things I see you is on LinkedIn, right? You use LinkedIn as a medium, which is great. We do too. We love the platform. A lot of professionals out there. I love your posts, by the way. They're family oriented sometimes, but then sometimes they're about, you know, the company. Sometimes they're about just you and you enjoying what you do, and your passion comes through. So my question is, what is it like to be LinkedIn famous?
LinkedIn famous.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't have LinkedIn. I've only had LinkedIn for a year. And I tapped into it because somebody is like, you know, there's a lot of professionals out here, and there's a lot of knowledge you could share with the industry. And I did. I just started kind of posting a lot of real situations, a lot of projects where, you know, the goods and the bads. And, you know, I'm also a huge advocate of mental health in the industry. We have a mental health crisis. You know, it's a hard industry that is very demanding, and I'm a huge advocate for that. But like, sharing knowledge and just like being part of a community like that is just good for everybody.
Yeah.
And so my whole goal with being on LinkedIn is like, giving the construction industry like props, like look at all the infrastructure, look how cool this industry is, right? It's one of the coolest industries in my opinion, like building some of these, you know, big bridges, these roads and all this stuff. I mean, like, think of our world without it.
Right.
So promoting that, but also promoting the technology side of it, that's a key part now and in the future of continuing this push of infrastructure. But LinkedIn's been absolutely great for us. And it's, you know, I'm not a big social media person, but I actually really enjoy LinkedIn and using it as a tool to communicate with people.
And the great thing is that, you know, if you do follow Bryce, and we'll put your LinkedIn account in the comments below, so if you're not following him, you can. But you also bring family into it. You know, this is a family-run business. I believe your son is involved. Your beautiful wife is involved. Brittany, she's a part of your company, right?
Yes.
And you have a lot of good people at that company. I've met most of them. Now, his company has grown quite a bit, so maybe not all of them, but I've met most of them at the trade shows. You bring them all in. So it is like a little bit of family, right? And I love that you share that part of your life as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a sunrise over a cool road, and that sometimes you get inspiration, especially if you're in this industry and you know what it takes to be out there in the conditions sometimes that you deal with, and you share all of it on LinkedIn, which is really cool. And I think that's why your account's so successful, right? We see you out there, we see you with the product doing the job. It shows through, especially when you're working with your life partner and you know, your significant other. But yeah, I love meeting her back when I did, and I'm sure she is doing a great job for the company as well. So
yeah, it's a funny story though, because I remember when we were at a conference together, and you know, there was 3 or 4 LinkedIn posts that came out, and I'm like, hey man, great post. He's like, I didn't post anything on LinkedIn. So Brittany's behind the scenes, like, posting, and then little did I know later, he's like, oh yeah, you know, Brecken actually posted that one. You know, just goes as a testament to how the whole entire family is ingrained in knowing a lot about this industry, and it's really good to see, which is a great segue into kind of my next question is, you know, what has inspired you and what made you want to create and be a co-founder of PaveWise, and kind of what keeps you going, man? What's the thing that encourages you on your journey now?
What inspired me was, you know, like I seen companies, you know, struggling with certain things that I feel like I am built to, if I see a problem, I want to find a solution for it. I've always been that way, and that's kind of where I fell into it. Is I just kept seeing these issues come up, contractors struggling with this, and that's kind of where PaveWise grew into, like, let's help with these situations. And eventually we found, like, well, there's a lot more issues in this industry that could be resolved, and it kind of became like my drive to be like, how, if I can leave a mark on this industry, like, how do I do that? And it's been my main goal is just improving, building better roads, helping the contractors be more successful, giving them time back.
Wait, let me write this down. This is a recipe for success right here. I got to write this down.
Yeah.
No, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The weather stations being put together to help people communicate in the project is new. Yeah. And Bryce and his team have put together an awesome app. We'll show that here now, that shows you everything that's going on in the project. That type of technology is new, and it's really pushing the limits of what our industry can do with weather stations and communication on the project. And that to me is amazing. I love that we're big at InstroTek. We're big about technology innovation, and this is truly a great innovation for the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess one thing that I kind of wanted to cover, just to tie in the two companies a little bit, was just, I know that you've used our NoNuke on site quite a bit.
Yes.
And I just kind of wanted to dial in and kind of dig into what kind of results you had. I mean, how your experience was, and
yeah.
It's been great. We've been fortunate enough. I still do paving consultant for companies like CAT. CAT actually hired PaveWise to test the new SDX screed.
Yeah.
We did comparisons, traditional versus SDX. The NoNuke was one of the key parts to really look at the differences of the two products. We tested it behind the actual paver, behind the compactor, the breakdowns, intermediates, all that. And I think we're up to about like 7 different mix designs in 2 or 3 different states that we've really ran this technology, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest. I've used some other NoNuke gauges and stuff, and the offsets with the moisture, just everything. It's been by far the best technology I've ever used.
And this is not just because you like Anthony, right? This is your honest opinion.
This is my honest opinion.
No, and you have the data to back it up too, right? You've been with your system and everything you do. You've been kind of getting all this data and comparing it to nuclear gauge and other products out there, right?
Yeah, and I mean you have to understand your environment too with using these technologies. I mean, did we just get an inch of rain? Is that going to affect my moisture in the mix?
Sure.
Is that going to give me different data results with the gauge? So you still have to understand certain aspects of your mix designs and things like that. But from the over 1,000 points that we've shot with this thing, we are just super impressed. And we're actually on another research project right now testing some new asphalt roller technologies, smart compaction with HOM, and we're testing this versus the InstroTek NoNuke versus traditional gauges versus the DPS versus the cores.
Right.
And it's going to be really nice, and it's going to be cool to share that data with the industry because, we love it.
With that,
Absolutely.
I just have one last question.
Let's do it.
What's in that cup, Bryce? What are you drinking today?
This cup right here, I got coffee in here.
Oh, coffee.
Some black.
Beans and water.
Beans
Nice.
and
All right,
water,
well,
man.
hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I'm going to stick a
Murray's
spill there.
always bringing back to the shots, baby.
Yeah, take a shot for
Let's do
everybody out there who's watching at 2 o'clock in the morning or
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the afternoon. So,
Well, we thank you all so much for being here. We thank you so much, Bryce, for coming and being with us. Man, it's a real pleasure. Maurice just mentioned synergy. That's one thing that we have with PaveWise is we've always loved working with Bryce, and just having him here is a real treat.
It was,
and
yes, absolutely.
So thanks for making the time and making the trip. And just want to let everybody know to keep it hot.
keep it real.
Keep it real hot.